Providing live finance advice on WMAC since 1993. It's time for Your Money with Steve Rosenberg, Sherri Goss, and Randy Goss. To participate in today's program, call 478-742-0940 with your financial questions or comments. And now live from the Macon studios of News Talk 940 WMAC, it's Your Money.
Good morning and welcome to Your Money. They fix what?
Fix this.
So it works now?
Remember last Saturday?
Yeah. No, I don't remember last Saturday.
It was so long ago.
Oh, man. So much has happened since last Saturday. I don't even remember it.
That's what it feels like every week. Between clients and news and everything that's going on, it just seems like, I don't know.
Anyway, there's a lot on this Equifax data breach stuff.
So I went ahead and put in for my $125, and now I'm told I'm not going to get anything.
No, you're not going to get anything. You're not going to get squat.
Because it's all going to get eaten up because there's too many people going to try to get it.
Yeah, that is the problem. And so, in fact, because here the FTC is saying you're not going to get $125. The sad part about this is the SEC is going to get most of the money, and then the people who got screwed are going to get next to nothing. So what they're telling everybody is just take the free credit monitor.
Right.
But you already have that, right? From the other thing you had?
We've been hacked so many times. I'm constantly under free credit monitoring.
Really?
Yes, because the military.
Oh, really?
Because we're in the OPM database. And people are constantly hacking into it and getting our stuff. And every 3 years, it seems like we get a letter saying that your information has been compromised. Here's your free credit monitoring. I can't keep up with it. I just gave up.
But if you freeze your credit, you shouldn't have any problems, right?
You could freeze your credit. Yep, and it's free to do that.
Yeah, mine's frozen with all the credit bureaus. That's the thing to do, because I was in this Capital One thing, too.
Lucky you.
I know. The Equifax, but you can go into Equifax and see if you're in, you can go to the FTC site.
Well, you can go to Clark.com, and he has a credit freeze and thaw guide, and it has the 800 numbers. I had a lady call me at TV this week asking for that, and she doesn't use a computer, so she's having to call the 800 number. So you can either call the 800 number or you can go on to the website and you can freeze your credit. Yeah. You probably went online and did yours?
Yeah, I went online and froze mine.
But
and then to unfreeze, you have to call.
Right, and you have to remember your password, so write it down.
Well, that's true with everything.
Yes. But Clark.com, it's all right there. Credit freeze and thaw guide.
So the whole idea was there was going to be a $125 a person thing from if you were. Do you know for sure you were in the data breach?
Yes. Randy and I were both in it, and so we both put in for the $125. It takes like 10 seconds.
Okay. I haven't done it yet, but I looked yesterday and I was in it.
Why didn't you just go ahead and ask for $125 while you're in there?
Because that wasn't on. It was just like one little thing where you go into to see if you're in there. That was all I did so far.
Oh.
I'm holding out for $1 million too. But anyway, so the idea was everybody's going to get $125, and now that's down to a few cents because so many people.
This happened with the Carnival Cruise lawsuit, too. I did it on TV. I was in it 3 times. I was going to get $900 from the Carnival Cruise scam, and I got nothing because the lawyers got it all.
Well, here the government's getting it all. The FTC's got they're paying a huge fine from the SEC. So the FTC's getting it, Federal Trade Commission. So the government's
at least they did
it.
Good stuff. At least they are worthy.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, but the FTC is encouraging people to opt for the credit monitoring, and so you just have to be careful because Equifax was sending people from their website to a bad website.
Mm.
So I mean, after all this has happened, then you go in and click something, and it takes you to a bad website, a hacker website. That's what Equifax was doing. They should just put them out of business.
Equifax wasn't doing it. Somebody hacked them and did it. They weren't doing that.
No. This is different. This is after all this has happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the website, on Equifax's website, they put the bad address. They did that fairly recently.
Equifax put a hacker address on their website, is what you're saying.
They linked it to people. They thought it was the right website.
Okay.
So they should close them down. That's what they should just do, and put them out of business.
They're one of the top processors of money in the entire United States.
I know.
They're not going anywhere. They
should take them out of the credit monitoring business. Take them out of the credit thing. They got two others.
That makes no sense.
It makes no sense that they do all this stuff and then nobody gets anything from it. That's what doesn't make any sense. What good is it? What good is sending out 25 cents to somebody?
But let's get the credit monitoring instead, like you said.
Yeah, but you don't need it. But yours ran out?
I don't care anymore. I mean, I'm always under some credit monitoring thing. I get hacked. I mean, it'll just be a matter of days before our information is thrown out all over the internet again.
So, if you want to know if you want to know if you are on the data breach from Equifax, just Google ftc.equifax, and so that'll be a safe place. So it'll take you to the Federal Trade Commission site, and then you can see if you are on the data breach, and that's the best way to do it. Free credit monitoring for up to 10 years. I don't know what up to means. At least 4 years of free monitoring of your credit report at all 3 credit bureaus, and then 6 more years of free monitoring of your Equifax credit report. Cash payments are capped at $20,000 a person, but nobody's going to get near that because there were so many people. So anyway, so you can file a claim. No, you can't. Can't file a claim till January 22nd of 2020. This is so stupid. This is from the FTC site, right? When will the claim process start? The claim has started. File a claim. Oh, yeah. So file a claim by January 22nd, 2020.
Put it on your calendar. That's if you had to spend money fixing problems because of the hack. That's the only people that can file a claim. You have to have proof in writing of what you had to jump through, whether you had to hire a lawyer or what you had to get money. To get that kind of money. Yeah, you had to have a real problem that cost you money or that you lost money, and that's rare.
Yeah. So instead, FTC said just go for the free credit monitor. So if I'm on that list, I can get free credit monitoring.
Right.
Even though nothing happened to me.
Doesn't matter.
I'm with that.
Okay. What else?
So much for that. The other thing, I had the other one for Capital One. I don't know where it is. Oh. I have so much stuff. I never.
Well, while you're digging through your pile, did you see the post office is going back to Congress again and asking for 5-day delivery? And so here's the deal. So they're delivering fewer packages and less mail. So they're going to run out of money very soon. In their last quarterly statement, they reported a net loss of $2.3 billion in a quarter, as it delivered 3.2% fewer packages. Revenue from packages, however, increased due to higher prices, but the decline in volume, the first decrease in nearly a decade, is a problem. So they experienced a 1.6% decline in revenue across first-class mail. Periodical revenue dropped by 11.2% because magazines are going away because they're all going to be online. So they said that they ended their fiscal 2018 with a net loss of $3.9 billion, but this latest quarter, they're already down $2.26 billion, almost as much as last year.
You should get rid of Ralph. That save him money, and it save all the people on his route aggravation.
Losses at the Postal Service between 2007 and 2018 are $69 billion. It has also defaulted on more than $40 billion in payments to pre-fund their retiree health care expenses. So the CEO says they need to scale back to 5 days a week mail delivery, and they could do packages 7 days a week. He says we have a flawed business model as the root cause of the agency's financial instability. This model imposes significant costs like an unaffordable retiree health plan and price caps while constraining its ability to raise revenue to offset those costs. They will be out of money in 2020. That's next year. But Congress doesn't want to let them change to 5-day delivery. This is the most insane
Absolutely
thing.
crazy.
And this is exactly what healthcare would be like under Bernie with the Medicare for All, but way worse. Way worse.
I mean, it makes no sense why somebody should have to get their 2 pieces of mail on Saturday.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
We don't get it at the office Saturday, and somehow we survive.
Right.
We're closed. They don't come in.
The whole thing
Guess
is...
what? We're still in business.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
I mean, it's just people with that Saturday delivery thing is nuts.
So what else you got?
So, I got an email. From supposedly from Sprint. It says, "Dear valued Sprint customer, Sprint is always working to improve our products and services for our customers. Please help us in this effort by completing a short survey. It will take no more than 5 minutes of your time. Thank you." And it's got a link
That downloads a virus.
It's a mile-long link. So when you get these kinds of things, you got to, first of all, you look at the from part, because you got a from to. So you get an email from Sprint. It says Sprint Research, and here is the web address: Sprint Research at qemailserver.com. Well, anything from a big company is going to have them. The at's going to be them, like at sprint.com. So that's just a giveaway. It's like that time I got something supposedly from FedEx, and I looked at the address up there, and as soon as I saw that it wasn't somebody or at FedEx. But they want you to take the survey, and they got the Sprint logo.
I don't click on anything.
Yeah. So anyway, you got to watch out. That's the kind of stuff you got to watch out for. You get the email from somebody, especially when it says customer, and I've never been a Sprint customer. I had in the way past. Remember when we used to have cards to make long distance calls? Remember, like AT&T had them and MCI
what year was this?
had them. This was back
in the 60s?
No, this was like in the 80s when we got the phones, but it was really expensive. The cell phones were really expensive to call on. So, or if you were overseas, it really cost a ton of money. And so you could get a card from AT&T, but it's like, you load so much money on it, and then you make your long distance calls on that instead of getting that you.
We were living overseas
during your time. When?
80s.
This was when the cell phones first came out. The regular cell phones, not the box, the ones, not the.
We were in Spain and South Korea. We had no idea what's going on with that.
Oh boy, you missed it.
I missed
Anyway,
the
that's
whole
what
thing.
the thing was. The other thing was it was real expensive to make calls. It was expensive to make calls from the office because the rates were so high. So to make long distance calls,
and now it's like free.
I know. It's
Phone.
just included with it. Anyway, 7420940 is the number. Good morning. You're on your money with Steve and Sherri.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I've got a couple of questions for you.
Great.
I called some time back about retirement. I'm close to retirement age, but y'all helped me find out that I had to retire. Was it 2 years after? Let's see. I was born in 55, so I have to. My full retirement age is, I think, 66 and 2 months.
Okay.
That's my age.
For Social Security.
For Social Security, correct.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now, if I retire early, what is the ratio dollar to dollar that I'm allowed to earn while drawing retirement without
While
penalty?
getting Social Security, I want to say it's about $15,000. I can look it up really quick.
$15,000 that I can earn.
Right, but I don't. I'd have to look that up.
I got you.
Well, that's assuming if you're taking Social Security.
Right.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay, that's just one of the questions. And if I do retire early and I do continue earning money, once I reach full retirement age, can I make as much as I want without being penalized?
Yeah. Once you hit full retirement age, you can do it. But
okay, even though I've retired early and started drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're full retirement age, you could make any amount from that point on.
But don't take it till your full retirement age because you're going to get that much more.
Yeah, you can make 8% more a year every year that you wait.
Yeah, so you're talking about 4 years, so you're going to have 32% higher benefit.
Okay.
If you wait until full retirement age.
All right, that's in 2 years.
So just Just wait till full retirement age.
Okay, here it is. If you're under full retirement age for the entire year, we deduct $1 from your benefit payments for every $2 you earn above $17,640.
I got you.
So you lose $1 for every $2 you make over that amount. So they have to weigh that against maybe waiting and taking it later and making 8% more.
And then the other thing does it gives you lower income the rest of your life because you started early.
Yeah.
Right.
You lock it in.
So don't do it.
I got you. It locks in.
Suck it up.
But I still get like the raises, you know. But
don't take it early. I mean,
now the one time that I've seen this work is widows and widowers who go ahead while they're working and take their survivor benefit, which is going to be less than their own benefit. They take the survivor benefit, use it to pay off debt, and then once they really, really retire, then they flip over to their own benefit, which is greater because they made more money than their spouse that is deceased. That works. Makes sense to me. I've seen that. But that's not your case.
No.
So anyways.
Just keep working.
I'm tired of working.
I'm just helping you plan the next 4 years of your life. Just keep working.
I know.
It's called financial planning. Work!
Yeah. Well, I work construction, and I've done construction all my life, and it's a rough.
That's a rough job.
That's a rough job. Yeah, it is rough.
But anyway,
but I think
if
you could just
take an early in because I want to still be able to walk around and see some of these sites in this great country of ours. So.
Well, you'll have time if you take it. If you take it at full retirement age, you'll have 30 years.
I'll tell you what's going on in construction that's interesting. There's such a shortage of people, and there's such a shortage. I mean, downtown Macon, for example, about 20 buildings are now under contract to close in the next 60 days. There's going to be no one to do any of this work because everyone is already working. And so I think you could possibly get pickier about the kind of construction that you do. And so
I'm already that way right now.
You're already? Okay.
I'm specialized right now in interior trim and stairs.
Okay, good.
Yeah, well, once I learned that a 8-penny nail weighed less than a 16-penny nail, I figured it out. So.
I'll tell you, the other thing is we have a painter that is really great, and Navicent has picked him up, and he's doing jobs for the medical center at premium. There are entities out there paying a premium for indoor work because there's nobody. There's nobody out there. There's no one left because everybody's working. So I don't know.
Well, and you're right about that. I'm seeing it because I do new construction exclusively.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm seeing that every day. So
it's really crazy. Well, we wish you the very best and stay out of the heat today.
Hey, tell everybody if you're only going to do work if the room is air conditioned.
Yeah.
If they want the trim done, they get an air conditioned for you.
Get an AC
That's
unit,
it.
Put it in.
Yeah.
One of the mobile AC units.
Yeah. Take it, put it in
buy
there,
one
and
and carry it around with me.
You could do that too. Just make sure there's electricity.
Yeah. Well, everybody's got temporary poles now. They got to have electricity.
Yeah, just get a long extension cord and plug it into the neighbor somewhere.
A long one.
All right.
Yeah, I wish you the best.
Y'all.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day. So I have to talk about California. They're off the rails. So the rising homelessness in California has spurred a rodent boom. That's rats, in other words.
How can you tell the rats from the people in California?
They're small. Rats are small. But they're getting bigger. So now they have led to an outbreak of typhus. So this pest control company was hired to investigate, and they warned that poor sanitary conditions, including human waste and hypodermic needles, created a harborage for rodents, causing a flea-borne typhus that is doubling in rates. So there's so many rats scurrying around the California EPA office in Sacramento that the agency had to close its outdoor playground to prevent children from getting sick.
They're the best people to get invaded by rats.
So they're now moving legislation to ban second-generation rodenticides that are more potent than earlier poisons because they're worried about the bobcats and foxes eating rodents that have this poison in them. And the rodents, if they eat the poison, they become lethargic. That's one of the claims.
They can't run as fast.
Right. Isn't that a good thing? Then you could trap them.
Yeah.
So there's no proof that the rodent poison is killing the predators, but it's true that the rodents are carrying diseases. So there is actually a bill sponsored by this guy that would exempt food factories, breweries, and wineries from the rat poison ban. I mean, they won't clean up the streets.
Yeah.
It's insanity.
Because they want all these people. They want all these people to come in, and they have no place to stay, so they're on the streets. So what do they expect?
This is insanity. I feel like the world is just losing its mind in every direction. Tell me something good.
This is a great article. This is in the Wall Street Journal. It's everyone hates customer service, and this is why. In corporate parlance, it's called the break point. It's how far a customer can be pushed before their heads explode.
I understand this.
From long waits at the airport to rude store clerks to ineffective helplines, shoddy customer service is the universal frustration. Today, companies
it's only going to get
crunch
worse.
Data and use artificial intelligence to determine exactly how angry a customer has to be to bolt. Which
Oh
means
my
change
gosh.
companies. And many are walking right up to that line. Technology can track how long a customer will wait for a human to answer the phone and how many ads they will tolerate. They can monitor the tone of a customer's voice.
Wow.
Customers know what steps they must take to keep shoppers loyal, which they can skip. This knowledge has contributed to a decline in how customers are treated, says analysts. Consultants, a smaller number make the counter case that companies are using their better read to improve customer experience. Sally Roby reached her break point with AT&T after 6 calls and collected 4 hours on the phone with customer service agents over the price of an unlimited phone plan. It's like they have a stranglehold on her, she said, and she had been an AT&T customer for 30 years. Dogged by overage fees on her family's 7-phone plan, she set out to get a plan with unlimited data and AT&T cable subscriber and customer since 1988. She eventually got a better deal from Verizon and returned to AT&T to see if it would match the site. I said, "This is ridiculous. You're not doing anything to keep us," she said. The agent said, "No, there's nothing I can do." It was only then when Miss Roby was in the act of switching phone numbers to Verizon from AT&T that the wireless carrier that AT&T buckled. Then they were, we want to keep you, and so on and so forth. So what they're doing, they're using artificial intelligence to gauge customer behavior patterns and personalities and to pair them with customer service agents. Matching the right agent to customers improves the likelihood of a positive outcome.
I like the live chat. That has saved me from blowing up. Being able to communicate with someone immediately and say, "Here's my problem. How do I fix this?" The live chat. Sitting on hold just makes me so mad.
I don't like the live chat. So, happy customer. Best and worst industries for customer satisfaction. Top 5 are breweries. I don't know why who calls a brewery?
What?
Yeah.
Top for customer satisfaction.
Yeah. Breweries, television and video players, personal care and cleaning products, automobile and light vehicles and soft drinks. The bottom 5 are these are the worst to call. Internet, social media. Who would call?
Yeah.
That I don't understand at all. Fixed line telephone service.
Well, that makes sense.
Video on demand. Yeah. Internet service providers and subscription television services. Anyway, so they're using artificial intelligence to know how long you can.
I don't think our home office is using that. I got so frustrated with them a couple of weeks ago over this power of attorney thing. So I've been meaning to talk about this.
Yeah, talk about that.
So I had a client we have this thing that after we have a power of attorney, and this is what gives someone the ability to make decisions, financial decisions for someone else, maybe an aging parent. They don't want to deal with their money, so they give power of attorney to one of their kids, and then we deal with the kid who has power of attorney over the accounts. And so all of a sudden, then there's this thing, every 3 years, we have to do this form that verifies this person is still the power of attorney. They want to know for sure, so this person has to sign a form saying, yes, I am still the power of attorney over this person. So we had one blow up a couple weeks ago, and they said, sorry, the power of attorney laws changed in July 1st of 2017 in the state of Georgia because our state representatives voted on changes that would help reduce the amount of elder abuse and fraud. And the wording is to hold people more accountable. So powers of attorney now, to be functional, and the one that this client had was not notarized, and it was totally legal at the time it was made. So powers of attorney to be acceptable now have to have 2 witnesses and be notarized all on the same dates on the end of the power of attorney. They have to also have a letter of instruction attached that says this power of attorney is for these accounts, because I guess people were playing fast and loose with powers of attorney and using them in places that the person didn't really want them using them, probably banks. And so financial institutions, not all financial institutions are going to accept the old powers of attorney. So if you have one, if you're a client of ours, we need a copy of it so we can make sure that it's still functional. If you're going to plan on using it at your bank or wherever, you need to take it by and say, hey, will you still accept this power of attorney? Give them a copy and let them have that on file. So it took me a month to get to the bottom of this thing, and it took us going all the way up to the top of home office to get to a person that could understand what we were saying and what we needed to do. And so we're straight now. But the auditor that was in our office yesterday, I told him about it because he was from home office. I said, you're going out and visiting all of these financial advisory firms in Georgia. Which, does he only do Georgia, or does he do other states?
No, he does other states.
Okay. I said, well, in the state...
He works out of Atlanta, the Atlanta office.
Well, I told him,
So
I said, here's the deal. All powers of attorney have to have these things, and it has to have a letter of instruction, or it is not usable. And here's the problem. The letter of instruction has to be signed by the person who gives power to the agent. So that person has to be able to sign a document. That's the problem. You have powers of attorney laying around in your safe, and you think, well, someday something bad happens, we'll pull those out and start using them. Maybe not. They may not be acceptable. So you need to get them out now and take them to your financial, wherever you work, where your financial advisors, banks, because I had a guy in yesterday whose wife is in a nursing home, and he has power of attorney over her because he's having to take money. The nursing home cost just went up to $7,500 a month for her. And she can't do anything. She's not functional in any direction. She can't sign anything. She's not lucid, nothing. And so he took that power of attorney around to all of their financial people that they deal with. Everyone accepted it but the bank. One bank said, we will not accept that. You're going to have to get guardianship if you want any of this money out of this account that is in her name. All the money, most of the money is in her name, and she's in a nursing home. That's what I'm talking about here. So don't put this on the back burner. Immediately go to wherever your power of attorneys are stored, pull them out, and make some phone calls or go visit your financial people.
Yeah, it's tough.
So we're going to start doing a file review of all of our clients.
Because companies are getting stuck with these. You know, if we accept a power of attorney and send it up for processing, and they accept it, and then it turns out that it was a fraud, they're stuck. And they've paid. They have, and the reason they
wait a minute. You said it turns out to be fraud.
Yeah, that it wasn't. They've had lawsuits against them. Royal Alliance have lawsuits against them because they accepted a power of attorney from someone that for whatever reason was no longer valid, and they paid out.
Yeah. So this, I mean,
that's why
if it's real general, because it's general, it doesn't list all the accounts that it's over, and that's why the letter has to be with it now. It has to be a letter signed by the person who gives power to the agent of listing specifically the accounts that it applies to. That is a new requirement. So that's for our company, and I'm sure others are going to follow.
A separate letter.
It's a separate letter of instruction that just says, I am signing this letter. I give this person power of attorney to handle these accounts with this company, with us. So they'll have to do it. It could be everywhere, but just don't ignore this one. You need to pull the power of attorney out. Make sure that it's still good. If you need to do a letter of instruction, get it done now and get it on file. But that I would have been pegging the whatever the reading thing, my nerves making these phone calls to try to get to the bottom of this thing. I mean, I emailed the Bar Association, no response. I emailed legal aid in Macon, no response. I call attorneys, no response. It's like everybody just hits a delete button, and then I call home office, and they've never heard of it. They don't know anything. My nerves were so shot on this deal.
Well, then you had the stuff with the VA and all that kind of stuff, too, calling. For people trying to get calls back.
Dublin VA, you can't even get through to they stupid phone numbers. Nobody answers. You're on a phone tree that takes you around in a circle. And so there is no. And then I called the Macon VA. I said, I cannot get through to this stupid phone number at the Dublin VA that is supposed to tell me how you qualify to be admitted there. And she said, oh, I've got a special number. I'll call them right now, and you're going to have a call back in 24 hours. Nothing. Yeah. Zero. I'm very aggravated with the VA and a number of other entities.
Who else you aggravated? Go ahead and name them.
Nah, it's okay. But my little blood pressure thing would have been pegging the whatever meter of that stupid whatever you just talked about that they have tracking who's calling. Obviously, they're not tracking who's calling and how they're feeling about customer service.
Well, anybody with the government really doesn't care.
Right.
I mean, you just assume that if it's a government agency, they probably just don't care.
They just hit the delete button. Beep.
The next tone you hear will be the dial tone. So interest rates are down, which is good and bad. It's good if you are a borrower. It's bad if you're a saver. So the 10-year Treasury bond dropped to 1.6% at one point the other day. That means if you buy a 10-year Treasury bond or note, I think they're notes. But anyway, you're going to lock up your money for 10 years and it's going to pay you 1.6%.
Not a good deal.
You may as well go to Walmart, buy a bunch of party supplies, and just have a good time. Because
Robbins Financial has a 12-month CD that's still paying 2%.
Yeah, there are. You can go to online banks.
The rates have really dropped. You can go to bankrate.com and you can search by CD or money market. I think money market's actually paying more than CDs.
Some of the money markets are paying more than CDs.
Because no CD is paying 2.45.
Yeah.
None of them. I looked it up because I've had people asking me.
Yeah. The yield on 10-year Treasury note is used as a benchmark for different types of loans, including mortgages. A 30-year fixed mortgage is 3.75%, which is the lowest since November of 2016. So if you're considering financing, that might be a time to start looking, and they might lower them again. Who knows? The average APR for new credit cards has been on the rise and is currently 19.29%, which is still a crime. But it's a free country. Interest rates for federal loans are set every May based on 10-year Treasury note. The rate for direct doesn't matter.
I'm trying to remember what the Democrats want to do with the credit card rates. There's I don't think I have it in here, but they wanted to make it 5%. Make every credit card company not charge more than 5%.
Well, if they did that, then there's going to be a lot of people can't get credit cards.
Right, because the qualifications would have to go up.
Yeah, but see, the problem is they're given the same high rate to the good risks as they are to the poor risks. And it shouldn't be that way. If you're a bad risk, your credit card rate should be higher.
Well, that's what it is now.
No, it's everybody's. The card is the card.
No, there's cards charging 25% and 30%.
I know.
For people with poor credit.
And good credit. My American Express, if I don't pay every month, it's 20-something% for an American Express card.
Well, that's your choice to have that card.
I know, but it's true with the. I think it's true with the Capital One cards too. It's just they've raised all the rates, and that's the problem. They should have different rates. And
they can do whatever they want. It's a private business. You don't have to do business with them.
They used to have usury laws.
Well, their cap in Georgia is 300%. So you're getting a deal. Plus, you're getting all those stupid points and cash back and everything. What do you want?
Well, I'm not paying interest. I don't care. It's not affecting me at all. I'm just thinking it's just crazy that when years ago when they started, the rates were, reasonable. They were 7-8% or something like that. And I understand charging more for somebody's a higher risk, but I don't think they're doing that. They're not doing that. I mean,
they are doing it. The rates other people are paying are worse.
Higher than 20-something%?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
For a credit card?
Yes. You don't have to have that card. Tear it up. Boycott it.
I don't care. I'm getting points, and I'm paying on time, and I'm paying no interest at all. I'm just saying, it just seems crazy.
They can do it. If people want the card, they get the card.
I understand that. And there's no competition.
Amazon.
Yeah, what's the deal with the Amazon credit card?
So they have a secured card now.
That means you put up
cash.
Cash.
You put cash on it, but if you have no credit or bad credit, you get an Amazon secured credit card, which you apply for online. You put cash on it. You buy something on Amazon. You take the cash, you pay off the purchase, and they report your credit that you've paid on time to the credit bureaus, and you start rebuilding your credit.
So back to the here's I was looking for this article. This is from Dr. Efrig about the government took $275 million and gave you 85 cents. So much for Equifax paying up. Last week we updated you on the In July, Equifax reached a settlement for the data breach, agreeing to pay up to $700 million for folks who suffered from the massive data breach. As part of the settlement, they must provide 10 years of free credit monitoring to everyone impacted by the breach. That's about 147 million Americans. Alternatively, folks could file to receive a $125 check in lieu of the credit monitoring. The response was so overwhelming, according to the FTC, so much that the agency is now urging people to accept the credit monitoring over the cash. That means it is unlikely anyone will see $125, expect a few bucks max. While the headlines around the settlement mention the amount of $700 million, the reality is $175 million of that goes to state governments and $100 million goes to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
Right. We already talked about that.
It should go to the people.
Doesn't work like that. Just like my Carnival cruise, I was supposed to get $900 and the lawyers got all the money. So here's the credit card deal. So here is a Capital One Venture One rewards credit card, 1.25 miles per dollar on every purchase every day, 0% intro on purchases for 12 months, and the regular APR ranges from 14 to 24%, depending on your credit. They're all like that.
Not an American Express.
Discover card. Well, dump them.
No, I'm not paying it. It doesn't matter because I don't finance it anyway. I'm
Chase
just saying.
is 17 to 26%. They have a range. Let's see if American Express is in here. Probably not.
Unless they just gave it to me because they hate me, which I could understand.
Yeah, too many points.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, I'm not paying it.
Right.
So it doesn't matter. But I'm just saying, it's just crazy.
So
because you're paying for the American Express card. Now this is the Delta card, so I mean other American Express cards might be different. I don't know.
So have you seen that more than 50 companies are pulling production out of China?
I think I saw something, but I didn't read it.
HP, Dell, Apple, Nintendo, and Chinese companies are also leaving China. It's no longer a cheap place to make anything. Plus, you got the tariffs. A lot of them are going to Vietnam. It's taking a toll on the Chinese economy. Economic growth slowed to 6.2% in the second quarter, the weakest rate in 27 years. 80% of American companies want to leave China, 67% of EU companies, and a lot of them were already in the process of leaving before all of this trade war thing because of increased labor costs. Way more expensive to make anything there than it used to be.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
But anywho, what else you got?
This is from Clark about the Kroger grocery pickup.
Okay.
You do that, right?
No, I did it one time when they offered me $20 off and a free pickup. I did it once. And I like picking out my own stuff in the grocery store. I don't want somebody else picking out my fruits and vegetables because I'm buying fruits, vegetables, and meat, pretty much. And so I want to see it myself.
Okay, so first of all, they've dropped the checklist name, and it's now called Kroger Grocery Pickup. They paid somebody for that one. If you're prone to impulse buys, you're more than likely picking up a few additional items than what's on your grocery list.
That's why there's all those bins of stuff everywhere.
Yeah, they got stuff all. Yeah.
There's piles of junk all over the place, hoping you'll grab some.
Yeah. So this came from whatever. Anyway, those things to get started. I went. This is from Clark. But I doubt Clark did this. Probably somebody who works for him did this. But anyway, to get started, I went to Kroger.com to place an order. Once logged in, I had to select the store that offers the Kroger checklist, which is now the Kroger
Click List.
Click List, yeah, which is now the Kroger Grocery Pickup. And there was a few miles away that I had never visited before. Next, I reserved a 1-hour pickup window and started adding groceries to my virtual shopping cart.
And what's cool is everything you've ever bought is already on the screen because you log in. And so everything that you've bought before is already there, and you can just click off. If there's stuff you buy all the time, you just click how many you want, and it's super easy.
There must be a massive list if they got everything.
Everything that you've bought since you started using the Kroger swipe card, the login thing.
So you get the window and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, I'm not going to go through all this. But you go to Clark Howard's website.
Point?
It's got that on there. He's just telling you what the system was.
Hmm.
You know, so if somebody wants to know what the experience would be, it's just like 3 pages to go through.
It's so simple. I mean, you go online, you click on what you want, you reserve a time, you show up, and the stuff's in your trunk in 4 minutes. That's what I experienced in pouring rain.
So it's in Atlanta, and you paid a fee?
No, because I had a coupon for $20 off and a free pickup. That's the only reason I did it, was just to see what it was like.
Yeah, so the fee in Atlanta is $4.95.
That's what it is here.
Is it? It's the same as everywhere. So you're paying extra $4.95. And so you pay it online with a credit or debit card, drive to Kroger, pick it up. Kroger suggests you arrive in the middle of your time slot. Whatever.
And if you have coupons, you hand them to the person, and they scan them and reduce it from your bill. And if there's something that's not available, they replace it, and they show you what they've replaced it with, and they go through this whole list with you. And it's very simple, but for people with that have multiple little kids, or you have you're handicapped a little bit, and it's hard for you to get through the store.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fantastic for a lot of people. They're really busy. I was in there a couple of Fridays ago, and there must have been 20 people stocking shelves and doing click list. And I said, what on earth is going on? And they said, the click list, this is a Tom Hill Senior Boulevard one. They said the click list is taken off huge. It's like they're struggling to hire to keep up with it. They have so many people having to do it just to run the groceries. It's so convenient.
Chase Bank customers in Canada are celebrating after the company announced it would forgive all outstanding debts.
What was that? I saw that headline.
Yeah, this is great. Canadians who had credit cards with Chase Bank can breathe a sigh of relief as the company says it will forgive all outstanding debts. Chase Bank, part of J.P. Morgan, and full disclosure, we own that in our portfolios, closed all credit card accounts in the country in March of last year. Originally, customers were told to continue paying their debt, but the company confirmed Friday that the debt was now canceled. Guy says Chase made a decision to exit the Canadian credit card market. As part of that exit, all credit cards accounts were closed on or before March 2018. A further business decision has been made to forgive all outstanding balances in order to complete the exit. So
how much money?
I don't think it tells you. Doesn't tell the total.
Wait, I'd like to know how many people, how much money that was.
I
that seems crazy.
A lot of people and a lot of money. But I guess so. They want it because they want to complete the exit, and they can't complete the exit as long as there's balances out there. So they just said, we want out, and we'll just forgive all the debts, and now they can exit. I guess that's. And they were offering Amazon rewards cards and Marriott. So people were thrilled, no doubt. Also, Disney announces a $12.99 bundle for Disney, Hulu, and ESPN. So you guys, you don't have cable.
We have Roku.
You have Roku. So does that have everything on there you want?
And Netflix and Amazon Prime. We don't watch anything. I mean, we literally hardly ever turn the TV on.
We don't either.
I don't even know why we have a TV at this point. We read books.
Disney will offer a bundle package of all three streaming service, Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN for $12.99 a month.
People are going to cut cable like crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, so it's cheaper or about the same as others. Netflix is having problems.
Yeah, people are leaving Netflix like Disney.
Yeah. So Disney's supposed to be better, and Disney owns ESPN
and ABC.
So they throw that in there, so that if you can get all the sports that you want. Streaming service is likely to be available through Amazon, Apple, and other distributors, according to the company.
So I had clients in a couple weeks ago that were really upset about global warming, and they've been watching documentaries, and they're really concerned, and it's about the cows. You've heard about the cows, and they emit so much CO2 and all of this stuff. And so here's a counter article that is really good. So people are dreaming of powering a society entirely with wind and solar farms, combined with massive batteries. Realizing this dream would require the biggest expansion in mining the world has seen. It would produce huge quantities of waste. Renewable energy is a misnomer. Wind and solar machines and batteries are built from non-renewable materials, and they wear out. Old equipment must be decommissioned, generating millions of tons of waste. The International Renewable Energy Agency calculates that solar goals for 2050, consistent with the Paris Accord, would result in old panel disposal constituting more than double the tonnage of all today's global plastic waste. The numbers are huge. If you want this article, I'll send it to you. It says a single electric car battery weighs about 1,000 pounds. Did you know that?
No.
I didn't know that. Fabricating one requires digging up, moving, and processing more than 500,000 pounds of raw materials somewhere on the planet. Using gasoline extracts 1/10 as much.
Jeffrey Epstein's dead.
Really?
Yeah, it's found dead
in his cell?
In his New York jail, according to media reports.
Why do you care?
Because he should be dead. He deserves to be dead, and so he's dead. So I am happy.
So when electricity comes from wind or solar machines, every unit of energy produced or mile traveled requires far more materials and land than fossil fuels. That physical reality is literally visible. A wind or solar farm stretching to the horizon can be replaced by a handful of gas-fired turbines, each no bigger than a tractor trailer.
Really?
We're not there yet. So don't freak out about global warming. There is no solution right now. And if you want to see something very interesting, go to worldtree.info. So you can plant an acre of these trees, and in 10 years, it will replace all of the carbon emissions that you do in your entire life. You should go look at these trees. They grow 10 feet in 1 year. They could replace pine trees, and they suck in CO2. They're the biggest consumer of CO2. It says...
Are they one of those things they made? Or those trees were already out there?
They're already here.
Well, how'd they know this?
Because they've tested it.
How?
You go to the website. Go to worldtree.info. It says an acre of... You can plant an acre... Let me see here. Fastest growing tree in the world. 6 months they grow 9 feet tall or more. It says Americans produce 20 tons of carbon a year. And in 1 year, an acre of these trees absorbs 103 tons. So it's better than all of this other stuff. I mean, there are solutions out there, but you're not going to hear about it anywhere because the politicians want to push agendas that are going to suck money out of your pocket. That is the goal, instead of a solution that actually works. So question everything.
Just remember what a politician does. He takes money from your pocket and puts it in his and her pocket.
So they can go spend it on people that'll vote for them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
they
really...
can bribe people
So if you want these articles, I'll send them to you, Sherri, Sherri, at rfmoney.com. But stop worrying about the cows and the cow burping and all of that stuff.
I was really worried about the cows.
But there's huge amounts of people putting a lot of effort into trying to scare everyone into impossible meat. I mean, that's a whole agenda. Impossible meat. Randy and I are going to talk about it because we actually cooked some a couple of weeks ago. We're going to do the whole nutrition and taste and all of that kind of stuff. But it's a huge trend, and it's
impossible meat.
You don't even know about this?
Uh-uh.
So there's a company called Beyond Meat, and they have an Impossible Burger. And so with Whopper, Burger King has actually started. I don't know if Warner Robins has it, but they've started rolling out the Impossible Whopper. So you can either eat a regular Whopper with beef, whatever is in that beef, or you can have an Impossible Whopper with a fake patty that's made from vegetables. It's pea protein and a bunch of other stuff.
It's like
ground.
a veggie burger.
Yes, that's all it is.
Okay.
And so this company has gotten huge, and they had an IPO a few weeks ago, and they blew out they just blew it out on the IPO. And so you can buy it at Kroger. If you go to the meat section, you can buy the Impossible Burgers, just the patties.
Uh-huh.
It's like $10 for two. I have a really good recipe that I can send you that you can make black bean burgers for like nothing. They're dirt cheap. You don't have to spend $10 on two patties. That's how crazy this thing is. Taco Bell has an Impossible Taco now of the same meat. So everybody's moving toward these things because it's an ethical choice to not kill an animal, and it's also now global warming. And that's this big message out there is that we're all going to die in 10 years if we don't quit growing cows and eating meat.
So vegetarians can eat it. Can vegans eat it?
Of course, it's vegetables.
It's just pure vegetables.
Yes, but the one that we bought was not good. We bought a sausage, and what is interesting, I looked up the Impossible Burger, just the patty compared to the actual Whopper patty. The calories are the same. Everything is basically virtually the same as far as protein. No. Everything is the same except protein. It has 10 grams less protein than actual meat. The problem with all of this vegan everything, because our daughter's talking about doing it, is if you don't eat any meat product, you don't get any B vitamins, and you actually can get extremely sick from that. You have to have some protein sources other than peas and tofu and nuts. We're not wired that way. We're not made. Now, some people seem to be able to pull it off, and I tried it for a month. I couldn't do it. I hit a wall, and I felt I couldn't eat enough to feel like I was getting enough. But yeah, it's a huge movement of people. But it's all about global warming and climate change and eating fake meat, and it's this massive movement.
So is there no fat in it?
No, it's the same fat.
Vegetable?
It's the same fat as a patty of meat.
Okay, so why?
Because it's not meat. The whole thing is about don't eat anything with a face. That's Colorado. Our daughter's in Colorado,
yeah.
And it's an ethical choice to not eat something with a face.
But my question is, I mean, you know that beef patties have a lot of fat. Why would vegetables patties have a lot of fat?
Because they add fat so that it has the same taste.
Oh, they add the fat.
Yeah, it's coconut oil was in the thing that we bought.
Oh.
It was greasy. Actually, it was greasier than what I would normally buy. It was a sausage, and it was terribly greasy. I would never buy something like that. I usually buy a turkey sausage if I'm doing something like that.
Yeah.
And so I don't understand that product at all. But anyways.
So is it's healthier for you because it's veggies instead of meat? Or is it not
No,
healthy?
It's an ethical choice to eat vegetables instead of meat because cows are killing the world because they emit too much CO2.
Okay.
That's the message.
So it's nothing about the fat. It's
not better for you in any way. Nothing about it's better for you. But what's better for you is cooking your own food and not buying into this junk. If you want to be a vegetarian and go find a recipe and make your own so you have control over what you're consuming. But if you're going to do that, take B complex, the vitamins, because you're going to have a shortage, and it can really cause problems in your body if you don't eat any meat.
So if you don't eat, so is it more dangerous? So is being a vegetarian better or worse than being a vegan?
So you can be a vegetarian that also eats eggs.
Yeah.
You could be a vegetarian that also eats fish. I mean, but the vegan is all the way over. From what I understand is you're not having gluten or any processed anything.
We were on a cruise with a couple, and we're going to cruise with them again, a younger couple, and she's a vegan, and so when we would go down to the restaurants, then they'd have to bring her, she'd have to tell them, and she'd have to see exactly what they have and all that in the vegan menu, which they had.
Usually dairy and gluten free. That's all the way.
Oh.
Anywho, yeah.
Anyway, we are out of time. We just you just wasted a perfectly good hour of your life. But anyway, if you want to learn more about Rosenberg Financial Group, go to retirerelax.com. There's a lot of free reports on there, financial reports about retiring and estate planning and protecting assets and all that. They're just free. They're just PDFs. So all you do is click on them and print them out. Or you can read them online, whatever you want to do. retirerelax.com. If you'd like a complimentary consultation with either Sherri or myself, in Macon, the number 741-4457. And in Warner Robins, it is 922-8100. Have a great week. We will see you next Saturday morning.
Yep.
Yes.
The views expressed on the show should not be construed directly or indirectly as an offer to buy or sell any securities or services mentioned herein. Investing is subject to risk, including loss of principal invested. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. No strategy can assure a profit nor protect against loss. Please note that individual situations can vary. Therefore, the information should only be relied upon when coordinated with individual professional advice. Securities are offered through Royal Alliance Associates Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services are offered through Rosenberg Financial Group, a registered investor advisor not affiliated with Royal Alliance Associates Incorporated. Offices are located at 2517 Moody Road, Warner Robins, and 4875 Riverside Drive, Suite 201 in Macon. Phone numbers are 922-8100 and 741-4457.